My name is Sandra Fox, and I'm the head of costumes at Houston Ballet. I learned how to sew when I was growing up. We had home economics classes, so I'd been sewing for quite a while before I started in theater. And in 2002, I joined Cirque du Soleil on tour with Alegria and was there for 18 years. To be in that kind of corporate theater with that large of a cast and a crew and with, really like that high quality of technical theater was really thrilling. At a certain point, Cirque decided that they wanted to change the structure that they had going on. I was sitting in Las Vegas wondering what to do next. Noticed that Houston Ballet had a costume shop manager that they were looking for. Houston Ballet Costume Shop were responsible for making, fitting, altering, maintaining all of the costumes for that season. If it's a rental that's coming in, we're fitting that and making sure that we are returning that rental in the way that we received it. If it's something that we're making from new, like this year we have 4 or 5 different productions that we are making that are brand new to the ballet. Maybe we're getting those designs in about 4 months in advance to 6 months in advance. We're having a conversation with either the choreographer if they're designing costumes or their designer. We start really finalizing each costume that we're putting together, really defining the lines of that costume so that we can pull a pattern together. I am working with that designer or choreographer to purchase anything we need. It might be clothing that we're purchasing and then altering on the dancers. It might be fabrics that we're buying and different materials. It could be a blend of both. We go through a fitting process with the dancers, all the alterations, and all the final finishing. There are multiple things that I've worked on here at Houston Ballet and seen the ballet perform that are just absolutely stunning. The Nutcracker has to be one of them. I mean, it's a triumph every year. To me, having come from Cirque du Soleil, it reminds me very much of that style of production. It's so big, so elegant, so out there in terms of what the costumes are. Everything has a fantasy element to it. But I think my favorite production that we've done has been Sleeping Beauty. Sleeping Beauty is just timeless, it's beautiful, it's elegant. The designs look to be very fantastic and like over the top, but they're actually really simple, and in their simplicity they're just stunning. We're always trying to make people look their best, feel as comfortable as possible, and honor the design.
Hi, my name is Marco Moranti, aka Marco, and I'm the costume designer for the Houston Ballet's production of Arthur Pita's Good Vibrations. I was always making little projects with my parents. The very first thing I remember is going with my dad on the beach and collecting seashells, and then he drew this giant pelican on a piece of paper and we glued all the little seashells down to make the feathers. And I think about that every time I'm working on embellishing a garment, because I'm like, this is something I was taught when I was very young. I love painting and I love art and I love storytelling. Costume design is a place where I can have an effect on all those things and be backstage and not have to actually be on it. I went to Cal Arts, so as an undergrad you don't get a lot of opportunities to design, and I really wanted to, so I would go to the dance school and I would design any piece that anyone wanted me to. That's really where I cut my teeth with dancers. After school, I moved to Los Angeles with my business partner. Started working with a lot of television shows. We worked with American Idol for 7 years. We worked with RuPaul's Drag Race for 7 years. We did a lot of music videos. We did tours with the Black Eyed Peas. Just started getting into more and more sort of extravagant costuming, less like clothing and more like painting. When it comes to television, it's all about interpreting many people's desires. That ends up being whittled down to something that's very specific, and so you have to be able to interpret what that is. And when it comes to the concerts, you have a lot more leeway in terms of what you can do. It's a bigger stage, you're farther away, you can get larger with the costumes. The ballet is kind of a little bit of both. You have the ballet itself, the company that you're trying to represent properly. You have the dancers who have their needs, and you have the choreographer who has their vision as well. Good Vibrations, it's a story about love and loss. It's a story about the accomplishments one makes in their life, and then how even after you've done all of those things, you still pine for the things that you haven't been able to quite reach. One of the exciting things about Arthur as a choreographer, he uses ballet as sort of a jumping off point. He's bringing in his influences from other forms of dance. And you still get all of these classical frameworks. Because of that, it allows me to do whatever I think would be beautiful. I do my best to try and learn the choreography as well so that I can anticipate things that might work and things that might not work. But once we get on stage, that all changes. You've created this image in your head and you've done your first version of it, and then once you see it on stage with the lights and the music and the particular dancer that's performing in it, and you realize that you could take it further. This needs to be a stronger color, or this can be more embellished, or this can be more romantic. Come to a place like the Houston Ballet where you have such an incredible infrastructure, such an amazing costume shop with really, I mean, every single person that works here is a tour de force, you know, a complete talent. You have so many opportunities to create something special and new. One of the most powerful things that you can do as an artist is connect with some part of the person that's viewing your art and make them feel something personal without ever having met them. I just hope people come to the show, and I hope they're open to the surprises within it, and I hope I finish on time.